Well, you are officially over halfway through section 1 of BU. I would love to be able to ask you how you think it's going or where your ahas have been. But given this is about taking opportunity to know a little bit more and some insight from me when I wrote the book, I guess that won't happen right now. So chapter 4. Chapter 4 is titled Evolve or Dissolve. Now, this title of this chapter originally was Old School versus New School. It's how I had titled it. And the problem, I guess, that came up from that was this sort of unconscious bias that by saying old school versus new school, it became sort of like old people against young people. And truthfully, truth be told, you can be an entry-level manager and be an old school mentality. And you can be a 70-year-old executive and be a new school mentality. So we transitioned that title to Evolve or Dissolve because we want you to take on some fundamental understanding, regardless of what age you are. There's universal language and philosophy you can put in place that will help your company prosper. I go into an analogy with triangles in this chapter. By now, you've already finished that lesson. And if you're like most people, you probably said the most important person in the company was the CEO. I have interviewed tens of thousands of people. And from the time that I sort of adopted this triangle philosophy, only one person actually ever said it was the person in front of the customer was most important. So that tells me kind of what you're walking into as well. I want you to shift that mindset. The reason why it's evolve or dissolve is because people don't work for you. And once you start to understand that and you start to realize the significance they have in your brand, in your results, in your productivity, in your sustainability, then you've evolved and your people and their importance is appreciated. And if you're like, I had a manager, I was doing a training class, and I had a manager, we had worked through this chapter, and he was so frustrated. Between this one and chapter 14, we'll get to that. But he had been a manager a long time, let's call it 30 plus years. And he said, I don't like these millennials. I can't believe I asked him, how do I get you to listen to me? And this employee told him, well, bring me Starbucks. And he was offended. You know what? Appreciate somebody being honest with you. Part of bridging the gap of relationship is giving people an opportunity to be authentic. But don't feel like people work for you or that they're below you or that you report to somebody above you. All those sort of, again, old school, because I grew up through those. I need you to shift that. You need to change your mindset and realize that as a world, the significance of every person within your team is incredibly important. So you have one chapter left in the first section, and I'll talk to you soon.